month, Attorney General Jeff Sessions called marijuana only slightly less awful as heroin and indicated the Trump administration might wage a federal crackdown on weed. But yesterday, Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly said pot isn't factoring in at all to the administration's war on drugs.
Marijuana is not a factor in the drug world. Three things: methamphetamine, almost all produced in Mexico; heroin, virtually all produced in Mexico; and cocaine that comes up from further south. Those three drugs result in the death of, I think, last year, 52, in 15, I think, 52,000 people, to include opiates. It's a massive problem.
So, KG, what do you think? Do you think it's smart policy to de-emphasize going after dope and then really focus on the hardcore narcotics instead?
Well, I mean, I think it's complicated because it's difficult sometimes to separate the two out. I mean, I think he has a keen understanding of exactly, the complexities of the problem. When you think about that, when we have big news alerts about things like Zika and Ebola, but we have a crisis here, a health and mental health crisis in this country with addiction to painkillers, prescription pills, opioids of all sorts. And it's really sad because it's taking over, it's crushing, destroying families, it's breaking apart homes. And part of this is that influx of drugs and guns, narcotics across the borders, and really just like keeping that movement going. It's got to be, you got to choke it out. It's got to be cut off.
And people say you don't choke it out at the ground level, Eric. They say marijuana is a gateway drug. So if you're soft on that, your teenage kids get into it, and if you're not going to enforce that, what else are you not going to enforce? Where do you see it?
Well, I take the other side of that. I'm in favor of legalizing marijuana, not just decriminalizing, legalizing it, because it's a war that we haven't been able to win. We haven't even been able to scale it back. We can't win that war. It's just too massive, too big. And frankly, my feeling is marijuana isn't even as dangerous as drinking. I mean, I've said this 100 times. I'd much rather be on the street with someone who is high than someone who's drunk. Let me just point this out.
Well, look at the studies showing schizophrenia, with young people using pot and smoking. Some of the studies that link it to schizophrenia and the onset of it. Your brain's still developing. It's too dangerous.
We've spent literally hundreds of billions of dollars fighting this, and it's not getting any better. I think when you look at the opioid problem, I think that's where you can focus in. There's a lot of illegal opioids being produced, even right here in West Virginia, pill factories, and these are the things that are killing people.
Yeah.
We have 50,000, he said, plus deaths last year linked to opioids. Concentrate on that.
Yeah.
That's something that could actually save some lives, and you could probably put a dent in rather than trying to mass incarcerate people for smoking weed.
And Donald Trump has talked about that, the opioid addiction crisis in this country. And it seems like Sessions is over here saying we're going to enforce marijuana very, very strongly. And then you have Kelly saying, you know what, we're only going to deal with the gangs and the drugs and the crime that comes across the border from Mexico. Mm-hmm. Where do you see that breaking down?
Well, I think maybe both things could be true because the way I took it was that Kelly was talking about the border, drugs that are coming across the border. I thought that's what he was meant, but I feel like I should give the rest of my time to Bob, who I think feels pretty strongly on this.
Well, no, it's yesterday I did, as you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic addict and have messed with all this stuff, including methamphetamine and heroin. And for anybody to suggest that marijuana is not in some way or another connected to more use of drugs, and it's also the biggest illegal drug in America by far. The Mexicans haven't given up selling that stuff. That's how they got started. So the transportation is still there. The money is still there. I did an intervention yesterday with a guy who was 43 years old, and he started off with using medical marijuana. That was, that's dangerous in and of itself. I mean, you declare yourself medical marijuana, and you got
people
paid.
Use it.
Yeah. And then he went right to opioids after that, because they wouldn't give him medical marijuana. And after that, he went to what all the heroin dealers are doing. They're going in after the opioid guys because they're cheaper, and they're selling heroin with fentanyl. And by the way, the guy's wrong. It's not from Mexico mostly. It's mostly from the Triangle in Southeast Asia.
Maybe Bob is going to be President Trump's new drug czar.
They have an idea, yeah.
One more thing is up next.